the mind that we think is the mind, the thinking mind, is not the mind that actually sets the direction. It is the mind of awareness where there is no thought or no distraction that actually knows. The part that knows that there is a heaven is actually not the thinking mind. The thinking mind is just logical. Sometimes logically, you will choose something that logically makes perfect sound, but actually is completely crap. But logically speaking, it'd be the best thing in the world. But in reality, it's not. But how we really distinguish whether something is actually good or bad is actually determined by how the body feels. The knowing is in the body. The knowing is in our being. And so the thinking mind actually has no part in it. The thinking mind actually is only useful in this. After you have experienced, being able to put words to it so it has further definition. But there is a significant difference between exploring it after you have achieved a non-thinking mind and a being mind, and then thinking about it and coming to realization and trying to think your way into a being. And so I would like to say that in summary, the part of us that knows that there's a heaven, the part of us that knows that we want to orient towards our heaven can only be achieved if you're not thinking and you can go, oh, I want to feel better. But it's really not a thought, it's actually a feeling. The only reason we think it may be a thought is because we put words to it. But in reality, we know we want to feel better. When we're in pain and we're agonizing, it's really not our thought. It's actually our body and our emotions that say, oh, I wish I could feel better. And when you stop thinking, actually, immediately you will start feeling better, which is the ironic part. It's actually the thoughts that keep us in these negative states. And so, what can only be experienced, and here is the catch. What I'm trying to explain is about the equivalent of saying, what is it like when you meditate? And I would like to say, instead of me trying to explain to you what it is like to meditate, I invite you, I'm not saying you, but I would say to the person, I invite you to meditate for a certain amount of time until you experience it. And then I'd like to say, let's talk about it after you meditate and have experienced some of these things that I've said. Because if I try and explain this to you, you will have more and more questions. And these questions, however clarity they get, will just bring even more questions. But they will not result in any kind of clarity. Thought will never get you there. But thought will bring good definition afterwards. But only after you experience it. Because it becomes knowledge afterwards. Before, it's only a question.